Hello, guys. Good morning. It's another exciting episode on Pious Football, where I deliver to you the latest transfer news. We discuss tactical analysis of games and also pertinent issues surrounding football that you don't hear on mainstream European media. Now, let me just go right in. I have tons of transfer news to deliver to you this morning. At the camp of Manchester United, it is good news all over. Here we go to Andre Onana from Inter Milan. The Cameroonian goalkeeper has signed for Manchester United. The deal is complete. The news came in late last night. The price is around 50 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons. Now remember, Onana has been speculation for some time now in the transfer market, but a deal has been struck finally. The United and Inter Milan reached a compromise. Mind you, Inter Milan always wanted 60 million pounds for him plus add-ons. United were willing to pay at some point a maximum of 50 million euros. But a compromise has been reached, 50 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons. Now, also at the camp of Manchester United, just in about 30 minutes ago, Rashford, a deal has been agreed for contract extension for Rashford until 2028. The deal is yet to be signed, but agreement has been reached in principle. So hopefully, Rashford will renew his contract very soon. Now, Andre Onana hopefully will join the club on pre-season tour to the United States. I think that was one of the motivation for John Murtough to try and seal the deal as soon as possible. Also, I would like to talk about the news coming in that Fabinho is almost close to joining a Saudi club, Al Hilal, for a price around 40 million pounds. Sorry, it's a very big offer for Fabinho, and Liverpool rightly are going to accept that bid. 40 million pounds is a lot of cash, and they would like to, reinvest that money in the transfer market. And it is no surprise that they are now stepping up their interest in Romeo Lavia. Remember, I said in my previous episode that Romeo Lavia is a target for Liverpool because, Henderson will be on his way to Al Ittihad to join his manager, Steven Gerrard, in Saudi Arabia on a huge salary. And also, Fabinho is leaving, so they need to kind of find a replacement for these two midfielders. So Romeo Lavia is the first option that they are looking at to try and beef up their midfield to sort of replace those two midfielders who are leaving. So Fabinho to Saudi Arabia will be confirmed very soon. The deal is 40 million pounds. Fabinho is currently negotiating personal terms with the Saudi club, so fingers crossed on that deal. Also, at the camp of Harry Kane, you remember he is wanted by a host of clubs. Manchester United are not in the running for Harry Kane, but Bayern Munich, remember I told you in one of my episodes that Bayern Munich have already met with Harry Kane in London, and he has agreed to join Bayern. So Bayern are very confident that Harry Kane will join them. However, PSG are now in the race. They are ready to match any offer that Daniel Levy will mention or will want to have for Harry Kane. So somewhere around 150 million pounds can be paid for Harry Kane by PSG. So PSG are monitoring the deal for Harry Kane and trying to see if they can get the deal over the line. Now 150 million pounds is a lot of money. That is somewhere around 170 million euros. Now is PSG willing to spend that sort of money on a player that has just 1 year left on his contract? Hopefully, if they can sell Mbappe to Real Madrid, maybe they can use that money to invest in Harry Kane. But as things stand now, they are exploring other options. So now in the case of exploring other options, now it goes to show that they are not willing to part with that money easily. Now another option that they are looking for is Dusan Vlahovic, the Serbian striker at Juventus. Now mind you, Vlahovic has been on the market. Juventus need money. They had to go through some sort of financial upheaval since last season. They've been sanctioned several times by the Italian Football Association. So they are trying to recoup some money and reinvest it in other areas in their their team. So Vlahovic has been on the market for some time now. Mind you, they only want 80 million euros for him. They are not willing to lower the price, and PSG are willing to pay the 80 million euros. The problem with Juventus is that Vlahovic used to be a target for Chelsea, but now Chelsea, Pochettino has told the Chelsea hierarchy that he wants to observe Nicolas Jackson and Armando Broja on preseason before he makes any move for another striker. So Chelsea at the moment are not in the running for Vlahovic. So that leaves just PSG, trying to sign Vlahovic. Now, the news is that the problem with the Vlahovic deal to PSG is that late yesterday afternoon, ultras of PSG started campaigning against the move for Vlahovic. Now, what is the problem with Vlahovic to PSG? Why is the PSG fans, why are the PSG fans trying to scoop out the deal? Their issue is that Vlahovic has made some inflammatory comments against Kosovo. Now, remember, those of you who are not familiar with the conflict between Kosovo and Serbia, it has been there for a long time. Now, after the fall of the Soviet Union, a lot of the satellite states under the USSR started gaining independence and forming their own states. But the former Yugoslavia was a host of other countries. Now the Yugoslavia now started disintegrating into a host of countries, and one of them was Serbia and Kosovo. Now the Serbians feel that a lot of the land that Kosovo currently occupies belongs to them. There's a sort of ethnic overflow, kind of like how you have Russian-speaking Ukrainians in Ukraine. We have Serbian-speaking Kosovans, or I think Kosovans, if I can say that. So there's a sort of ethnic overflow and language barrier that is overflowing on the borders of Kosovo and Serbia. So it's sort of raised a lot of conflict. You remember they fought in 1994, and now that the tensions are rising again, NATO has sent a peacekeeping force to try and maintain the peace for elections that are currently going on in Kosovo to be held. Now, remember I said Vlahovic is a Serbian. Now he made certain comments. Remember, Djukovic, also made some comments in relation to Kosovo that, he received a lot of backlash. Now, Dusan Vlahovic made some comments against the Kosovans, and the PSG ultras, the fans of PSG, are not happy with those comments, and they are protesting the deal for Vlahovic to come to PSG. They say they don't want someone who can make such inflammatory comments to play for their club. So the deal for Vlahovic to go to PSG looks like it can actually derail because of the campaign by the fans. Now, Juventus need that deal to be done so that they can actually use their money to go and bid for Lukaku. Mind you, that Inter Milan have, exited themselves from the race to sign Lukaku. Why? Because, number one, they initially bid 30 million euros. Chelsea threw that bid away. I told you in one of my episodes. Now, they decided to up their bid to somewhere around 35 million pounds plus add-ons. Now, the problem with Inter Milan is that they heard that Chelsea communicated to Juventus that they are willing to sell Lukaku to them. And they have told Juventus that Inter Milan have bid 32 million pounds. So then what happened is that Juventus bid 37 million pounds plus 2 million in add-ons. Now this angered Inter Milan because they felt that Chelsea are trying to create a sort of war, a price war between Inter Milan and Juventus, and they didn't want that to happen. So they got angered and decided to look at other options. Now they are looking at Florent Balogun as it stands now. Now Balogun, remember, an Arsenal player, is on the market. Arsenal want to sell him because the player doesn't want to go on loan and he might not start for Arsenal. Mind you, he is currently on preseason. I'll talk about Arsenal's preseason tour to the United States very soon. However, now Inter Milan are now looking at Florent Balogun. Remember, I said earlier that AC Milan were the team that were mostly in line to sign him. Balogun was interested in joining AC Milan. Now, Inter Milan have also joined the race and have inquired about the services of Florent Balogun from Arsenal. Now, that means that the Lukaku deal to Inter Milan is off the table. For that reason, Chelsea have informed Lukaku to come to Cobham to come and train. He might not join them for the tour to the United States, so he's going to stay at the camp of Cobham, at the camp of Chelsea, and try to wait out and see if a deal to Juventus will materialize. Mind you, he already has an offer on the table to play in the Saudi League. He refused the offer, but if all options don't work out, it looks likely that Lukaku might end up playing in Saudi Arabia. So fingers crossed on that deal. Now, this Vlahovic to PSG deal, as I said, depends on a host of it will cause a snowball effect on other transfers. So, let us see what happens, because if the Lukaku deal to Juventus doesn't happen, if the Vlahovic deal to PSG doesn't happen, it means Lukaku might not move to Juventus. It means that Balogun's move to Inter Milan might not also happen. So a snowball effect is happening. Mind you, Inter Milan will receive 50 million euros from Manchester United. So hopefully, maybe they can bid for Balogun with that money. But I don't know what will happen. Now, mind you, Inter Milan have already replaced Handanovic, who has left as a free agent. They've bought a Ukrainian goalkeeper, and now they are also in the market to try and get a striker. So let's see how that goes for Inter Milan. Now, also at the camp of Juventus, I want to say that they are exploring the possibility of signing Franck Kessie from Barcelona. Mind you, Franck Kessie has become a sort of extra player that Barcelona don't want, so they are is surplus to requirements, and so they want to sell him. They want to make money from his sale. Now, there is an offer on the table from Saudi Arabia, a 30 million euro offer from Saudi Arabia on the table. Franck Kessie doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia at his age. He feels that he can still play in Europe. So at the moment, they are exploring other options. His team are exploring other options, and Juventus is the other option that Franck Kessie is exploring. So let's see how that move also goes. Also, at the camp of Barcelona, they have made an interest in Bernardo Silva from Manchester City. Now, that move might not happen if Man City keep raising their interest in trying to sign, Frankie de Jong. Mind you, Man City are interested in signing Frankie de Jong, and so they are trying to convince Barcelona to do a player exchange between Frankie de Jong and Bernardo Silva. So Bernardo Silva will go to Barcelona, and Frankie de Jong will move to Man City. Now, mind you, Frankie de Jong loves Barcelona. It is his dream to play in Barcelona. Manchester United almost signed him a year ago, but he decided not to come. He wants to play in Barcelona. It is his dream, childhood dream. So I don't think that move will materialize, that Frankie de Jong will be willing to move to Manchester City. So let's see if Bernardo Silva's move to Barcelona will happen. Mind you, Barcelona don't have the money to pay outrightly for Bernardo Silva. Barcelona don't have that money. He will cost somewhere around 60 million euros. Barca don't have 60 million euros at this moment. So they'll be hoping that Frankie de Jong will agree to join Man City so that there will be a player exchange. But Frankie de Jong at the moment has no interest in joining Man City. He wants to play for Barcelona. So let's see how that deal will go. Mind you, Bernardo Silva has an offer on the table from Saudi Arabia. So let's see how that move will materialize. Also, at the camp of Manchester City, Riyad Mahrez is also on the market. He's trying to navigate a move to Saudi Arabia. He has an offer from Saudi on the table. Mahrez currently is in Dubai training on his own. So hopefully the deal can materialize. Pep Guardiola might try to receive some money. So, as you know, Frankie de Jong, Riyad Mahrez to Saudi Arabia might happen. He has already agreed a deal in principle. Personal terms between him and the Saudi club has been agreed. I think Al Hilal or Al Ali, are the team that are trying to sign Riyad Mahrez. So let's see how that deal will happen. Now, also at the camp of Liverpool, remember I said that they are going to lose Henderson and Fabinho to Saudi, and so they are trying to step up their interest in Romeo Lavia. He's going to cost them £50 million. So let's see how that deal will go. Also, they are looking at Sofiane Amrabat from Fiorentina. Mind you, this player has already agreed personal terms with Manchester United. In case we are able to sell McTominay, then that money will be added to surplus that we have, and probably Fred also moving. So the money for Fred and McTominay will be used to sell to buy Amrabat from Fiorentina. But at the moment, it looks like Man United have a competition for Amrabat and in Liverpool, and Liverpool are trying to sign Sofiane Amrabat and Romeo Lavia to replace Henderson and Fabinho. Also, in the camp of Bayern Munich, I want to talk about Sadio Mane. Remember, Sadio Mane had that move to Bayern a year ago. It's just a year now, and he had a very disastrous first campaign with injuries and out of form. But it looks like Bayern Munich are trying to cut their losses with Sadio Mane. They have communicated to the player that they want him out of the club. Thomas Tuchel has told the player that he's not in his plans. So at the moment, Saudi Arabia seems to be the destination for Sadio Mane. His agent is currently in negotiations with a Saudi club to try and try to orchestrate a move. So Saudi Arabia seems to be the destination of a lot of out of favor players in Europe right now. So let's see Sadio Mane to Saudi Arabia. Let's see how that move will also go. Also at the camp of Roma have made an interesting offer for Alvaro Morata. They have already agreed personal terms with Morata, and they are trying to negotiate a move for Morata with Atletico Madrid. Remind you, Roma are very cash-strapped, like a lot of the Italian clubs. So they are trying to explore the loan market. However, I am made to understand that this move for Morata is actually a permanent transfer. So let's see if Morata to Roma will be able to happen. Now, also at the camp of Arsenal, I said earlier that they are on the tour to the United States. They have announced their squad, and conspicuously missing in the squad is Thomas Partey. So let's see. He's currently in Dubai, as I'm made to understand. He's in Dubai. He supposedly has agreed personal terms with a Saudi club. Now, mind you, initially we thought that Partey would try and engineer a move to Juventus. We were told, made to believe that Juventus were interested in signing Thomas Partey, but as it stands now, it looks like Juventus's favorite midfielder for the moment is Frank Kessie, and that means that Partey would have to look elsewhere. So it looks like Partey might actually, 30-year-old midfielder, Ghanaian midfielder, might be making his way to the Saudi league. So let's see, fingers crossed on Partey to Saudi Arabia. He's not been included in the tour, the travel squad. He's trying to engineer a move, but if that move doesn't happen, Arsenal have communicated to the player that in about a week's time, if he is not able to make the move to Saudi Arabia, he should join the camp at the United States for their preseason. So fingers crossed for Thomas Partey to Saudi Arabia. And then lastly, my last story for today, I would like to end at the camp of Chelsea. Just about 5 minutes before I started my episode, I received news that Chelsea are now ready to make a second bid for Moses Caicedo. Now, mind you, they made an initial bid of £70 million. That was turned down by Brighton. Brighton wants £100 million for Caicedo. Now, Chelsea are ready to make a second bid. Now, I'll bring you details of the second bid and what happens to the bid later on in my next episode. So for now, Chelsea are preparing to make a second bid for Moses Caicedo. So let's see how that happens. Now, thank you very much for listening to me. I'll bring you more transfer news in my next episode. I hope that you loved what you just saw. If you like the video, please like the video for me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more transfer news and interesting analysis of games happening across Europe. Thank you very much. Bye.